the secret energy of archaeological sites and how to get this into your DNA. We're talking about the earth grids, the ley lines, and the ancients knew about them. They built their temples on these locations. Now, an ancient monument usually evokes a sense of admiration, but have you ever thought that it could be a nucleus of energy which purifies and rejuvenates our soul, but also a means of insight and self-discovery? Now, we know that in past videos we learned from scientists saying that the columns that the ancient temples of Greeks, Romans, even the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem had columns. They had the two huge columns on the front, but also columns inside. Now, when you pass through these columns, even when you touch them or just lean on them, it brings up the earth energy from the earth up to through the column and into the sky. And when you touch this, obviously you're benefiting from it in that way. So, Greece, as we know, a country full of archaeological sites, we can benefit from a visit to them, not only satisfying our aesthetics but admiring their monuments, also drawing energy to elevate our soul. The energy of such a space can heal us, guide us, and awaken us in possibilities when we are in tune with it. Now, I don't know what the construction of neoclassical buildings in the UK or the US are concerning what they put inside the columns, but the ancient Greeks had put lead. They had lead inside the columns in order to have this energy coming through the earth and into through the columns themselves, as opposed to something. I don't know. Again, I don't know how these columns in the States or the UK have been constructed, but the ancient ones had the lead inside. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. It's true that when we are in the smallest and simplest archaeological site, we usually feel awe. We walk as visitors to the earth where other people once lived in the past, our ancestors and distant relatives. The first lesson that such a space gives us, after all, is transience, a feeling that is strong and usually causes us sadness. But apart from the sense of decay that shocks us, most people do not know how to deal with the spectacle in an archaeological site in order to take advantage of the experience of their contact with this source of history to the fullest extent. Now, because an archaeological site is, above all, an area that emits special energy, the one that we must draw out on a visit there, every trip to ancient monuments is a possibility of self-revelation. The landscape itself, the buildings and the energy of the people who live there meet at an energy hub from which we have much to gain. So let's first look one by one at the energies emitted in such a space. A, the energy of the landscape. Archaeological sites are not built on random parts of the planet. Special priests and geomantics, through a search in nature, selected the areas for the reconstruction of ancient monuments. Thus, the landscapes that now host them are small or large channels of energy and focal energy points on the living body of the planet. The composition of the soul, the altitude, the fauna, the flora, the waters of the area, the intense geological phenomenon, steep and cut rocks, ravines, caves, etc., constitute the special energy of the specific area that was selected for a specific use. One way you feel this is to choose a quiet corner, spread your legs slightly above the ground, spread your palms out to look down, and try to listen unaffected by the sound emitted by the landscape. Each landscape emits a different sound, which represents a breath of the planet in the specific area and leaves us an undefined taste in the mouth. You will have similar results if you close your eyes and let the landscape send you the image of its color. Depending on the type of the latter or the sound you will receive, you can discover the predisposition of the energy of the space and feeling it to tune it with your own. B. The large energy field. Every space, especially large sanctuaries, belong to a wider energy field in which individual centers are connected to each other like members of a body. The sanctuaries between them can schematically create an energy triangle, a circle, or other geometric shapes and sacred numbers, golden ratio. It's also possible that shrines dedicated to the same god, for example Apollo or Delphi and Delos, have interacting elements. So when you are in the archaeological site, you draw energy from its wider energy field because each of them is connected to the energy of the others like cables of a network. Thus, walking in one draws energy from all those who are in the wider area, since these their pulses and vibrations join under your feet. Energy from use. Now, regardless of the landscape in which it's located, an archaeological site hosted people who were born, lived, and died there, charging the site with their energy. Their thoughts, feelings, actions, rituals, and expectations crystallize in the space and pulsate there even today. The visitor, who is sensitive recipient of stimuli, can feel the echo of the old life and its energy, because this can also be negative, from massacres to performing dark ceremonies, and it's good that your visit to such places is accompanied by an energy protection, the energy egg, an energy suit that will help you that you will wear before entering the archaeological site, an imaginary egg that will emit positive energy around your body and will be impermeable to other energies. To receive the first one, rest your palms on the ground for a few minutes, feeling it circulate in your body, making a circle before returning to the ground, cleaning you, and you will feel like you are reconnecting with your roots. E. The energy of moments. The ancient ruins emit strong energy, especially if they have been used in rituals, which have watered, quote unquote, the buildings of the area. A pillar of an ancient temple that remains standing functions as an antenna that emits the old energy of the monument, and a gate like the one in Mycene or Naxos, which was passed by thousands of people with reverence as a passage to more subtle vibrations and frequencies. In addition, the architecture of such spaces is a carrier of a powerful energy, as they have been constructed according to sacred proportions and secret codes that preserve it together with their thought forms, which are an invisible, indestructible building that surrounds the natural, interacts with visitors, and refines them. And you'll find it by touching an ancient stone or part of the column with your left hand, bringing it to the navel area with your right hand, and you'll then feel the energy of the moment pass from left hand and end up to the right, stored in the navel area. And depending on its use, architecture, and time of construction, for example, Mycenaean, Archaic, Classical, or Hellenistic, etc., each monument retains another form of energy. Due to lack of available space, we limit ourselves here to mentioning only a few monuments and the type of energy they emit. The temple. The temples, due to their long-term use, but also their high energy charges from rituals and invocations that took place there, have retained a large amount and good quality energy. This quality varies depending on the god to whom the temple was dedicated. In the temple Apollo Delos, Delphi, you can be attuned to the energy of inspiration, especially the artists, of pure thought and of removal of old karmic loads. Now we go to the other one, the ancient idea, inspiration, discovery, coordinated with you in such a space. The temples of Zeus, Zodoni, Olympia, etc., are suitable to raise issues of determination, willpower, and case management. In the temples of the Parthenon of Athena and in Athens, in Aegina, and issues of reflection, existential knowledge and wisdom. Now the temples of Artemis, Vavrona often offer the issues of goals and management, things like that. That's what people believed in. Now 2, divination. The holy oak, the oracles at Delphi, the Doni, and various other places are like gates of other dimensions, where we can feel to some extent some of the future events. When you're in such places, mentally ask the subject for which you would like to receive a message before entering the space. Ancient theaters. Now, they found ancient Greek theaters in excellent condition, even in China. Now, theaters have been charged by large gatherings of people, by ancient sayings of tragedians, also by their very shape, since their cavity is a matrix that holds and multiplies multiple energies. Now, most of the time, the theaters were in the therapeutic centers where people would go for a stay for meditation, for confession, fasting, daily ritual of fasting, confession, and bathing. Also watching, observing art, and while listening to music, and also listening to plays, one tragedy and one comedy, in order to for the tragedy and comedy to act out your daily problems, the daily problems of the people at the time. So you would feel them, and that others have them the same way, and also laugh at them. So it was a healing process. Now, the Asclepia, this is where we also find the theaters. The Asclepia, the ancient hospitals from where you could draw healing energy, is enough to be receptive with body and mind, stand on the site of the ancient shrine visualizing the energy, and also shopping. The ancient agora markets were gathering places of the ancients, transactions and of exchange of ideas. People would go there even to discuss. That's where St. Paul told the ancient Greeks about the 3 hours of darkness during the crucifixion of our Lord Jesus Christ. And the first bishop of Athens, a young man who was an astronomer and had seen the 3 hours of darkness when he was in Alexandria in Egypt, believed St. Paul and became a disciple of St. Paul and the first bishop of Athens. Because this is what they used to do. They used to go and talk to each other in the marketplaces. Now, although trade conditions have changed from antiquity to the present, the spirit of success and getting affluent is the same, still active in the ancient markets, according to what it says here. Now, I've translated this for you from a Greek article, from Melada, from Diadrasika. I hope you found it interesting. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.